sucker!
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Talking about the big news that broke here over the last 48 hours. Ring of Honor Wrestling is pretty much suspending all operations after December. End of December, everybody's contract is going to be void, and you got to wonder what the hell is going on here. What do you think is going on, man? As far as Ring of Honor and these guys shutting the doors.
Well, let me read their statement real quick. It said, throughout the pandemic, our top priority was to keep everyone healthy and safe. And despite not producing any live events for over 18 months, we were able to keep everyone fully contracted. We now find ourselves at a time where we need to make changes to our business operations and are planning a pivot for Ring of Honor with a new mission and strategy. The year will culminate with a final battle in December, and we'll be taking the first quarter of 2022 to work internally to reimagine ROH. ROH has the most dedicated fans in the industry, and we appreciate their loyalty and patience as we reconceptualize ROH. We anticipate returning to live events in April for Supercard of Honor with a new fan-focused product and provide unique experience for wrestling fans. That all sounds like
you want me to tell you what that sound like?
What does it sound like?
It sounded like when back in the day, I remember me and my brother, we was trying to break in, and we was working here in Houston with a little company, Texas All Pro Wrestling, and Tiger Conway Jr. was one of the guys who ran it. Tiger Conway was a wrestler back in the day. Me and my brother, we looked up to him, junior and senior. And I remember me and my brother, we had a tryout in the Global Wrestling Federation, and we went and did the tryout, and we got back to Houston, and we ran into Tiger Conway, and Tiger goes, I heard you guys went down to Global. And we go, yeah, we went down there. And we got a tryout. And he goes, yeah, all right. Well, I just want to let y'all know, I heard the money is gone. That's what Tiger told me, man. Okay. I'm not saying that's what happened, but that's what it sounds like a little bit.
The money.
If Tiger was here, I think that's if Tiger rest his soul was still here, Tiger probably would say, the money is gone. And so ain't no use of going down there. That's what he told us. You know, we ended up going to Global, and the thing is, it wasn't no money there when we went as well. I don't know if it was any money there before we went, but
money can't be gone if it's never there.
But we did get a launching pad being on Global Television Monday through Friday on ESPN, and it was a huge springboard for my brother and myself for our careers. So sometimes you get paid in different ways, and you got to know you got to know exactly what the money is in order to get it. Sometimes.
Yeah, when I read that statement, it's concerning to me. It is concerning to me as a person who's been aware of Ring of Honor really since their inception in 2002. They've almost been around for 20 years, and the pandemic hurt everybody. I mean, hell, without this YouTube channel, who knows where reality wrestling would have been in the year 2020, right? I mean, we had some hard times, Daddy, to quote Dusty Rhodes, but now we're looking up and up. It's bright out there. But for Ring of Honor, 18 months is a long time with no real live event income coming in, trying to pay your contracted performers. That's a rough go of things. But when I read, reimagine, and rethink, and reconceptualize, and this and that, I think it sounds like a bunch of corporate jargon to mean I don't think we're ever going to see Ring of Honor again. If you want to know my personal opinion, I think it's over. I really do. And I don't say that with any joy. I don't say that with any glee. I don't say that because I want that to happen. This is just, I've seen this happen before. It was like the XFL, right? The XFL says, oh, we're going to take a second. We're going to retool and rethink, right? We're going to take a minute. That thing died twice. Every time they went to go rethink, they RIP'd the league, right? And I really hope and sincerely hope that I'm wrong on this, but to me, it doesn't feel right. And there's a Sports Illustrated article out right now that was just published an hour ago that said extreme mismanagement led to the demise of Ring of Honor Wrestling. If you want to go read that article, you can. It's on Sports Illustrated right now. There's a lot of internal battles apparently between Sinclair Broadcasting, the management of the day-to-day operations, things of that nature. And when there's too many cooks in the kitchen, sometimes this is a result.
Well, I mean, you got to look at it from a lot of different perspectives
Sure.
as far as Ring of Honor goes. Of course, the pandemic hit. Of course, I think one of the biggest things that came out of nowhere for them was AEW. AEW pretty much capitalized and picked up a lot of their roster as well as pretty much kicked the company off through ROH's wheel. So I think ROH and AEW. I think I think the two of those companies are pretty much. One thing I thought also though I thought ROH would have been able to piggyback off of AEW. I thought those guys would have been able to work together somehow. But I'm gonna tell you right now, you never know how things are gonna go until boom, you got all the control, till you got all the power. And right now, it seems like ROH is on the outside looking in. The Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, all of their major stars now are in AEW, as well as a lot of the WWE guys. You reminded me, all the guys from backstage is on AEW, except me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's definitely, I think, that company coming out of nowhere, because that was Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor was the number 2 company
Mhm.
before. I mean, they had eclipsed TNA. That's how big they were getting. But
Yeah, didn't they run Madison Square Garden like a
it,
year or two ago?
it seems like the reading is, like you say, somebody didn't really want to get on board and push this thing to the next level and really make it what AEW is. And the thing is, what AEW is, man, is a whole lot of money. You got Tony Khan backing that thing, and that's a whole lot different than Sinclair. That's a whole lot different, as far as guys around, ROH, having that kind of, bank to actually bankroll that deal. That right. That's why reality of wrestling try to stay in our own lane. That's why we've never tried to become WWE. That's why we've never tried to be like AEW or anything like that, because you got so many different things to deal with. Just think about the injury toll along this last 20 years in a company like ROH, where those guys were loose cannons, willing to, throw caution to the wind. Just think how many guys got injured over that period of time. Who paid for all that stuff? Who had to come out of their pocket? I know every time I got injured in this business, no matter whether in WWE, TNA, WCW, every injury, the company paid for it. Every one of them. So I'm gonna tell you right now, that right there alone, even just think about this here for 1 second. Just about every major injury in reality of wrestling, who paid for it? I did. Talking about knee surgeries. I'm talking about elbows, dislocations, all of that stuff.
New
I had to
teeth.
pay for it. Exactly.
Yeah.
New teeth. I had to pay for it. So I can only imagine how much money Ring of Honor, with the extreme type of show that they've put on so many different occasions, how much money that they, and I look at companies like GCW, I look at companies, like PWG. Um, these companies have so much more to worry about, other than just guys going out there and putting on a show.
Though the talent, if we look at Ring of Honor, it's had different ebbs and flows over the years, but I think that if this is the last ride for it, you look back at what they were able to accomplish in this 20 years. There were a lot of guys that cut their teeth there in Ring of Honor, right? I mean, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Samoa Joe. I mean, the list can go on and on. Jay Lethal's been with them for a very long time after he left
Well,
TNA. Forever, forever.
he's a
Jonathan Gresham, who came down here, Cedric Alexander, Cesaro. I mean, the list can go on and on and on. Adam Pearce was in there. Adam Page was there for a while. I'm just looking at some of the names that have come through, and it's a very extensive and long list. of people who were able to go work and apply their craft and learn their craft through Ring of Honor wrestling. So I hope it's not the end of Ring of Honor, but I'm just saying the writing is on the wall, and they did help produce, like you said, with AEW, they helped produce that All In show. They actually own the footage rights for that show, and it's kind of AEW that I think sidelined them pretty severely.
Well, I mean,
Because the three top guys over there at the time were Cody and the Bucks, and then Ring of Honor had the deal with New Japan.
no
And now
matter,
who has the deal with New Japan?
no matter, no matter how talented the guys are, on your roster, um, the one thing that trumps everything at the end of the day is how much money we can pay you.
Mm.
You can be, you can be talent, but you want to get paid. You want to get paid for your services. A company like ROH was in a position to actually do something big. And the thing is, those guys were doing something big. I don't know how much money those guys were making, but in order to make that money situation happen, you got to have somebody bankrolling that thing properly in order to go over the top. And I just don't think Sinclair, I think they bought in from a television perspective, but I don't think they bought in from a money perspective to fuel this company from
Right.
a bankroll perspective to get them to that next level. And that right there is what I think kept ROH in a certain, little pocket. But I think that pocket that they were in was awesome. I can only imagine if reality of wrestling was at that point. But they're again still staying in our lane and trying to manage it properly, so we do not run into that financial perspective to where the one backer like a Sinclair say, "Man, I can't do this anymore. I can be making some money with this TV thing opposed to putting wrestling on there on a weekly basis and not really drawing a whole lot other than saying I got a wrestling company." And that's what a lot of people want to do. They will spend that money just to say, I got a wrestling company. I'm the boss. And with reality of wrestling, we try to make every dime go as far as it possibly can, just to keep the doors open, to keep building this machine as big as we possibly can get it. One day, hopefully, we could pay guys more money. But as far as contracting guys, I just don't think that's a place. I mean, contracting guys to where we're paying them WWE type money. I don't think that's a place that I ever want to be as a owner of a company. I just don't.
um, Going back to Ring of Honor, what do you think that they could do to reconceptualize? Because their brand has always been wrestling focused. It's not really big on any of the soap opera aspects, although they're there, of professional wrestling. It's more so what's happening inside the ring. It's a in-ring centric sports feeling product. Do you think that that translates well to the masses? And if they come back, do they need to stick to that, or should they incorporate a little bit more, uh, a term that's become a dirty word, sports entertainment?
Well, I don't know. And the reason I say that is because I don't know how much of that company is owned by, the Ring of Honor people, or how much, input Sinclair brought to the table. Just because, and I say that because, just say for instance, if reality of wrestling had to close down today, and I say, hey guys, we're reconceptualizing things, we're rethinking things, and we're going to take off for 6 months, and we'll be back in 6 months. I own everything. I put it in storage. When I get ready to come back and run, I break it out of storage. I find me a small school. We get right back because I own everything.
Right.
All the cameras, all the barriers, all everything. I own it. So it would be very easy for me to actually. So I don't know how much Ring of Honor owns. I don't.
I think that they're wholly owned by Sinclair.
It's exactly my point. That so right now that pretty much leaves them out. Out there just wondering as far as how we're going to keep this thing, because the TV trons, all of that stuff is gone. And I'm sure Sinclair ain't gonna want to give it away. Okay, they want to sell it or something. So I just think those guys are in a really bad position as far as getting back to where they were if they don't own everything as far as the visuals that people are seeing when they come to see that show because that's a huge part of a show, the aesthetics.
Yeah, absolutely. So, man, I'm just, we never want to see this in wrestling. You know, companies do come in and out all the time. Some are more favorable than others. Some are more popular than others, and some pop up overnight, and then the money is gone, like Tiger Conway Jr. said. But
Money is gone.
Ring of Honor is one that again launched so many careers, and I think that is one of those places that was a jumping ground. It was a launching point for so many people. And if it is over, they have a lot to be proud of. And if it's not over, hopefully whatever this retooling and reconceptualizing is, hopefully it's beneficial and people latch onto it, and Ring of Honor can last for another 20 years.
Hey man, I'm not going to count them out or anything like that. Like I said, I just don't know the infrastructure of ROH or anything like that. I know those guys. I don't know how long were they with Sinclair. I don't know how long they were with Sinclair.
I'm not exactly sure.
But I do know this. Before they were with Sinclair, they were just a regular independent company.
Yeah.
They didn't have any of the jumbotrons or anything like that. Immediately when they got with Sinclair, they bumped it up because I was like, how the hell are we going to keep up with these guys now? That's what I was thinking when they got with Sinclair from an independent wrestling company. So I just wonder, what's the new look of ROH 2.0 would be. You know what I mean?
Let's give them rainbow colors and some Wale music. And we'll put Mandy Rose in all the commercials. And the Ring of Honor 2.0.
I'm just saying, man, it's got to be something, man, in order to, intrigue you because the company was actually a good company and it produced a lot of good talent. It produced a lot of good shows. The fans were really behind that thing. It had that ECW feel to it.
In a way.
As far as, these guys were working in that same arena, that 2300 arena down there in Philadelphia. If you could work Philly, you could work anywhere in the world. And that's why a lot of those guys came out of there highly talented and ready to go and produce immediately, like a Daniel Bryan, like a Kevin Owens, because cutting your teeth in a place like that, you got to be on top of your game. You go to New York, you got to be on top of your game. California, you got to be on top of your game if you want to go out there and impress these fans like that. So I appreciate what ROH brought to the table.
What's up, this Booker T, two-time Hall of Famer. I know you're checking out The Shine, checking out The Gloss. I want to thank you guys for checking out Row on YouTube. Hey, don't forget to click and subscribe to check out all the latest content right here each and every week. Now, can you dig that, sucker?